Hello guys and welcome back to CPC Week 8. This week we are finally trying to break our streak of win, lose and try to win 2 in a row, but this week we're facing Toge and his Arizona Carvanhas, and he's a really tough opponent. He's doing really great in the MPL. He is currently in the playoffs, so definitely go check him out, and yeah, you will definitely see some high quality battles. And he also has a really threatening team from us, because also last week he made a transaction a bit on the fly, but he picked up Talonflame, and Talonflame just against my team is so good. I don't have many great Bravebird switch-ins, so he could even try an offensive approach, but he also does the def variant and kind of deal with like my main flying check, the Registeel. If it runs maybe Taunt plus Will-O-Wisp, or if he's a bulk up variant, he can do a lot of different things, and it's all scary for my team. Then he has Lucario, and Lucario on +2 with E-Speed kind of nukes my whole team. Then Scolipede, Life Up Scolipede also kind of runs through my team. And Mega Blastoise, I don't have many reliable switch-ins to that. I do have like something like a Milotic. It's a bit passive, but it does do the trick. And then, as you can see here, the last two mons he brought were Uxie and Crocodile. Also, Uxie is really annoying for my main offensive mons called Nidoking and Infinite. It can even run with enough speed to outspeed Nidoking. So that's really annoying. And then Crocodile, if he spams like ground moves, that's also a bit annoying for this team. If you look at it, Crobat's like the only thing that flies. Milotic can still take some hits, but the other things, it can be quite annoying. Most of my mons do outspeed, so naturally, so that's nice. Then on my team, I just have I'll just quickly go over my squad. Don't have much time, so I won't do an in-depth team analysis. But I have to make Gardevoir. I think it's Substitute, and then Hyper Voice Psyshock. Last move, I contemplated between a lot of moves. I think in the end I decided on Encore. If he tries with Talonflame to like set up on me, I can Encore him. I could even try to substitute on some of his other mons, or maybe if he likes with Scolipede, if he tries to Swords Dance on me and I go for the Encore, he is now Anchored into the Swords Dance. So definitely I thought it had a niche matchup, so to say. Then my Registeel is kind of my answer to Talonflame. It has Ancient Power to deal with it. Also it has Stealth Rocks and Toxic. So if he's like Taunt, Will-O-Wisp, Ancient Power is a 2-shot. If he isn't Taunt, Toxic can be nice. Also I didn't want Rock Slide because Will-O-Wisp, because bulk up. The only thing with Ancient Power, it doesn't have it has limited priority, and also on the Roost it does a bit less damage. Then last move, I thought it would be nice to hit like Lucario and Crocodile, so I've put Focus Blast on there. Then Crobat also has the Occa Berry, because if it's an offensive Talonflame and he has Swords Dance Flare Blitz, I can still take that, kill him with after recall with an Ancient Power. I think offensive Talonflame also doesn't really appreciate an Ancient Power from full even. Then Crobat is just here to mainly there for the Scolipede, because it has the Charlie Berry, so it can take a Rock Slide even if he sets up the +2. It has Roost, Defog, Bravebird, and if he decides to go, because he also can go like hazard stacking with Scolipede, and also he could go baton passing Scolipede, so last move I put on Whirlwind. Then Infinite is more of an offensive Infinite. It's a Swords Dance variant, but I thought I had 3 coverage options, which were Flare Blitz, Close Combat and Stone Edge, I believe. It's also Chilam Berry, so it can still take a +2 E-Speed from Lucario and kill it back, because otherwise it runs through my team. In hindsight, Mike Pinch might have been really nice, but you will see that after the match. Then Milotic is mainly a bit of a bulky mixed defensive Milotic, mainly there for the Mega Blastoise. It has to recover the Skull, Toxic, and as last move I think it's Mirror Coat. Nidoking is a fairly standard Nidoking for coverage moves. It's a scarfed version. Maybe I should have run Thunderbolt for like also for Talonflame plus Mega Blastoise, but I thought Switch Wave, Earth Power, and then Ice Beam. And last move I think I ran Shadow Ball for specific the Uxie. And yeah, that's the team. So you can kind of see I had to bring a lot of mons in a very specific role to not be swept from the start by his team, so that's really scary, and we will just look how the match will go. So I decided to lead off with my Gardevoir, yeah, kind of predicting, not really predicting, but I thought Uxie could be his lead to get up his stealth rocks, and I thought this Gardevoir can try to substitute on it if it doesn't pack the Shadow Ball or even encore it into rocks. But he goes for his Blastoise, which is really nice because Hyper Voices do it KO. Dark Pulse does less than my Hyper Voice does, so I just go for a safe Hyper Voice. He goes out in Talonflame, revealing early that this is a Spadef Talonflame, so that's good to know. Here I'm thinking, okay, he's most likely or just going to Brave Bird, maybe Roost to Fool or something, so just go out in Red Steel. He makes a really great double into his Crocodile, a bit risky because if I stayed in and I went for a Hyper Voice, like predicting that he wouldn't stay in with Talonflame, because yeah, I'm at full. And Psyshock does a ton, Registeel's safe switching, and nothing else on his team appreciates Hyper Voices. So this Crocodile could have been out of the way. Also here I switch out from my Registeel because I want it there specific for the Talonflame. But in hindsight, yeah, I knew I could take an Earthquake quite well. And yeah, maybe it was nice for me if I just had gone for the Focus Blast. Does like 70-80%. But yeah, I just make the safe play into Milotic. He goes for knockoff, doesn't do that much to me, but it gets rid of my leftovers, which is a bit annoying. And also from this damage, it looks to be, this can be Scarfed, it also can be just a berry variant, I don't know. But I'm looking at my team and I'm thinking, oh, I prepped for almost all his threats, his Talonflame extensively, Lucario, Scolipede, but I kind of forgot Crocodile also could be run Scarfed. And if I look with Scarf EQ, that can be really scary for my team. Also here I didn't notice, but it's also not Intimidate, so it's most likely Moxie. And if it's Moxie, that also means, because with Intimidate, even if it hadn't worked on Registeel, you would have saw that he Intimidate Clear Body, that comes up. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind for later. But for now I just recover up with Milotic. I want to keep it healthy. He goes out to Uxie, I don't really mind. He's probably going to get up his rocks, but I'm most likely going to get a free sub with Mega Gardevoir. That's exactly what happens. He goes for U-turn, doesn't break my sub. He goes down Flame. I know Psyshock does a shit ton of damage, so I just go for the Psyshock. Here I'm thinking I don't. Mega Gardevoir is still nice for Uxie. It's also nice for the Mega Blastoise. Can still take a hit, 2-hit KO it. It also does really a lot of damage to Lucario if it doesn't have Bullet Punch or is a special variant. Scolipede I don't deal with that well, and the same goes for Crocodile depending on if he's Scarfed or not. So let me just go out into my Registeel. He just goes for Brave Bird. Here I'm thinking he's probably going to Roost, so let me get at my rocks, or he even switches out. In hindsight, I definitely should have Toxic here because Roost was so obvious, and Toxic would have put this Talonflame on a timer for sure. But I just go for my rocks. Here I'm thinking, okay, let me Toxic it now, because yeah, Stealth Rock Toxic, it would have been kind of obvious. So why not Taunt right off the bat? So I'm thinking maybe he doesn't have Taunt, but I just want to get Toxic off. Even if he taunts me, it's not really that much of a lost turn. As he reveals the substitute, and this was a really nice bring for him, because yeah, obviously the Toxic isn't gonna work. So here I'm just going to break it with an Ancient Power, and he reveals to have Bulk Up. So it's Bulk Up, Roost, Substitute, and then Brave Bird. So that's a bit annoying for my team, because yeah, it can kind of stall this Registeel out, because it can kind of set up on it. Ancient Power doesn't have enough PP, it only has 8 PP, you can easily stall that out. And yeah, it's kind of a mind game. Do I go Ancient Power, do I go Toxic like this turn? If I went Toxic, could have easily stalled it out. So here I decide, okay, let me just go out into my Milotic. Milotic at this range can still take 2 hits. Yeah, only if he gets two of the highest rolls possible. That's the only way he takes me out. So let me go Milotic and try either with Scald, which does more damage than Ancient Power after Roost, it does 40 to 50-ish%, or try to also get a Toxic on him. As he subs up, here I'm just going to break this up as he scouted for the damage. With Brave Bird he gets like an absolute max roll, does 46%, and here I'm okay. Here first I clicked really fast, I clicked recover, and then I was like, whoa, wait, I kind of need the magnetic healthy, but I also need to get this threat out of the way immediately. So next turn I mean. So let me just go for Scald, because he has to get like the highest roll possible, to one of the highest rolls again to take me out. And if I live after recall, the Scald is a guaranteed kill, and that this threat is then out of the way. But unfortunately for me, I made this change like also like immediately, but my internet got disconnected, and when it reconnected, it only saved my initial move. So as you can see here, I lived the Brave Bird, which is nice, but I went for the recover. So this Talonflame could have been dead. Magnetic would have been low, would have been in rocks range, but still I could have come in like later on, maybe on like the Uxie. Yeah, like Uxie or Blastoise, I could maybe outspeed that. I have a bit of speed investment, so I think, I don't know if I outspeed Uxie, probably not, but Blastoise maybe, or just in the Talonflame would have been dead. Now it isn't, and now it can be a bit annoying, but I'm also thinking he isn't subbing up, so he's probably not expecting the Toxic at this point. So let me just at least put him on a time and go for Toxic. He goes for another bulk up, which is quite nice by him, because now he takes me out. I just go for Scald. On the off chance I live, he takes me out. I can now go out Rage Steel due to the Toxic damage. I at least can stall this Talonflame out, and like I lose almost 2 mons to this, but at least it's now down. So that's one threat out of the way. He goes out to Mega Blastoise. He kind of gets a free kill here. Yeah, I could like make the hard switch into like Gardevoir or Crobat, but I'm also thinking, yeah, what does Rage Steel really do to his team? Like Lucario, Scolipede, Crocodile all kind of nicely deals with it. Maybe maybe Scolipede I can still take an EQ, but after Sword Stance I can't. That. Just stay in. He goes for the Hour Spear, and he just barely misses out on the kill, but I can Toxic him here. And I think the roll, I don't know the exact amount anymore, but I know it was heavily in his favor to kill. So that's really unfortunate for him, because he wouldn't, I wouldn't be Toxic. If he wouldn't be Toxic, then he could get off like the Rapid Spin later. And now it's just his best play is to he wants to get rid of the rocks also. I'm at 3%, so he will just his most likely play is just go for Rapid Spin, and I'm just going to click Stealth Rocks until I die. And that's exactly what happens. He clicks Rapid Spin, I click Stealth Rocks, and he takes more Toxic damage, and this is going to repeat 3 times until I'm dead. So here he gets rid of the rocks, but yeah, he has taken so much Toxic damage now. He's easily in range from the Gardevoir. Initially he would have been at 80%, but rocks were still up, so I don't know if he would have sacked his Blastoise to this Mega Gardevoir to get rid of the rocks, or that he would have switched. But if he would have switched, he probably had to sack him on. So I think it kinda played out like it would have, but yeah, I don't know that for sure. So Blastoise down, we're now 4 and 4, but Scolipede comes in. Here I'm thinking I can go hard into Crobat, but I still take a Rock Slide at this range, but with rocks up. If he goes for like an SD, I'm fucked. If he predicts my Crobat, I'm fucked. If he goes for like Aqua Tail as coverage option, like to hit everything, I'm fucked. So I thought if he tries to set up something, maybe he is substitute, maybe he is Sword Stance. Let me just go for the Encore on that off chance. But he just goes for a Poison Jab, reveals to me that he's live up. I have one play, and let's go out into Crobat and just kill this with Brave Bird. He goes for Rock Slide. Unfortunately for him, he misses. He kinda knew I had Charlie Berry, but he wanted to put me in range for the Lucario, as you will see later on, why that's really important. But yeah, now I'm just able to clean kill him. Probably would have survived on like barely any HP, and he could have killed me with the Lucario. With E-Speed, couldn't switch because of the rocks. Here he brings out the Uxie. he has only revealed U-turn, Stealth Rocks and T-Wave. I believe it was, or only U-turn and Rocks. And I'm thinking, okay, last move Psychic. Yeah, so I could try to roost here, but I'm thinking, yeah, Psychic does a shit ton. He can also T-Wave me, but I also don't want to go hard in Infinite or Nidoking because they are also 2-shot by Psychic. So I just need damage on the Uxie, so like Infinite or King could like 1-shot or 2-shot it, because they can take 1 hit, and then try to win from there. So it might be, you might think, okay, why are you like sacking your Crobat here? If you look at his team, the Crocodile, if it's scarfed, is really a problem. But yeah, at this point, I was down with 3 months, he was down with 3 months, and I just, in my opinion, from what I knew from the battle, it was most likely he was like Psychic as last move on his Uxie, meaning that it was a problem for my last 2 months and I needed damage on it for sure to be able to kill it. So that's one thing. And Lucario could be dealt with, and Crocodile could also be dealt with if I outsped it. So assuming this wasn't a Scarfed Crocodile outspeeding my Scarfed Nidoking and my Infernape, I went with that plan. So I was playing as if there was no Scarfed Crocodile, because if at this point I would play that there is a Scarfed Crocodile, I definitely thought I couldn't win the match if he was like Psychic on the Uxie, because he goes for Psychic, I switch out into like Nidoking most likely. I can maybe, depending on the spread, 2-shot him, but he kind of has a, yeah, he can kind of switch around because I don't have a move that hits all 3 really nicely, and I can scout from the damage if I'm scarfed or not, so that's not nice. On Infinite I want to preserve my Chilan Berry because otherwise I lose to Lucario, so I just needed to play around it not being a Scarfed Crocodile to be able to win this game. So that's what I do. He T-Waves me, I'm just going to go for Brave Birds. He just goes for a slow U-turn out into Lucario. I do 50% to it. I'm thinking, okay, I can't let it set up, so I just stay in. He kills me with E-Speed. I now go out into Infinite to revenge him. He just stays in, activates my Chilan Berry, still does a shit ton of damage. Lucario is just too strong. I kill him with a Flare Blitz because I thought he could maybe switch out into his Uxie, and Flare Blitz might, from this range, might have been a 2-shot. So I went for the Flare Blitz over something like the Close Combat. Here I'm thinking, okay, moment of truth, he went Crocodile really fast, so most likely he's scarfed, but if he isn't scarfed, I can kill him either with Close Combat, or if he's like Chopper Berry, put him in range for Nidoking, and then maybe 2-shot the Uxie from there. But as you see, he is scarfed, he is Scarfed Moxie indeed, and that means yeah, we lose 2-0 because he's easily able to also kill this Nidoking. So yeah guys, that's that. We have 4 and 4 now again. Again, we're at level packed. We're continuing the streak of win and lose. Yeah, it was a great game by Toge. He definitely knew what he needed to do to win this game. He also has just so many threats for my team. Yeah, I definitely felt this was a really hard time prepping for me, and also just in the match itself. The Talonflame was really a nice bring on his part, and also the Scarfed Crocodile really did its number. After the match, he revealed to me that his last move on his Uxie was Rest. He didn't even have a Psychic move. I found this a bit debatable, but yeah, he wanted those slow U-turns out into his other offensive threats on it, and he decided that Rest was the better option. But yeah, I could never have expected it to not have the Psychic on there, especially if I have a Crobat, a Nidoking and an Infinite on my team. But yeah, that's it guys, and we're looking forward to the next week. We're now 8 weeks in, so that meaning we still have 4 matches left, and that means there are 3 division games and 1 conference game. And we're 4 and 4. Some guys still have to play, so I don't know what everyone's else record is, but I must say me, Abe Ford, the other guy in my division, and the number 3 and 4 in the other division, which are Top Tier Boy and Sam, are all really close to each other, and they this meaning that I need to win my division to guarantee playoff spots, and if I become second, I have to have a better record than Top Tip Boy and Sam. So we definitely need to start winning some games again. And next week we're facing Aberford, and that means this is like the most important game of the season, because we're both 4. Now I'm 4-4. He's currently 3-4, but he has to play one match still, so he's potentially also 4-4. And who wins this gets a 1 game lead over the other one, which is really big at this point in the season. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's also a rematch. We have played before this season, and that was the Nidoking show. It really showed its power against him. Also a roll on the first turn kind of decided the match. And yeah, he's probably hungry for revenge, but yeah, we're definitely trying to our hardest next week and try to come out on top. And yeah, look forward to the playoffs, because yeah, that's still our aim, and it's still within our own reach. But yeah, we have to definitely win against Aberford. So I will see you guys next week, and until then, bye.